Hey everyone! Welcome to today's cooking recipe. We're making some crispy golden hash browns from scratch. Whether you're craving a perfect breakfast or a tasty side, these hash browns are sure to impress. Let's dive right into it and make sure every step counts so you get those perfect, crispy edges and a soft inside. Grab your ingredients and let's get started. Alright, let's get started with our crispy hash browns. First, grab 2 large russet potatoes. These are perfect for crispiness, so don't go with waxy potatoes. Next, you'll need 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil to fry them up to that golden perfection. For seasoning, just keep it simple with salt and freshly ground black pepper. But if you want a little extra flavor, add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder or onion powder. It's totally optional. And of course, we can finish it off with some fresh chives for garnish if you like. Alright, let's get cooking. Let's start by preparing our potatoes. Grab 2 large russet potatoes and peel them if you prefer, though leaving the skins on can add a nice texture. Now, grate the potatoes using a box grater or a food processor. You want to use the large or medium holes for the best result. Once grated, place the potatoes into a large bowl of cold water. This helps to remove the excess starch, which is key for getting those crispy hash browns. Let the potatoes soak for about 5 to 10 minutes, and in the meantime, we'll get ready for the next step. Now that your potatoes have soaked, it's time to drain them. Remove the potatoes from the water and transfer them to a clean kitchen towel or a few layers of paper towels. This step is critical. Press the grated potatoes to squeeze out as much water as you can. The drier the potatoes, the crispier your hash browns will be. So, really make sure to press out all that moisture. You want to get them as dry as possible. Once they're dry, move them to a bowl, and we're ready for the next step. Now that our potatoes are dry, it's time to season them. Add salt and freshly ground black pepper to taste. I'd recommend starting with about a half teaspoon of salt and a few cracks of pepper. If you want to take things up a notch, you can sprinkle in about 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder or onion powder. It's totally optional, but it can really elevate the flavor. Give everything a good toss so the seasoning is evenly distributed throughout the grated potatoes. We want every bite to be flavorful. Next, let's heat up our pan. Grab a large, non-stick skillet or, even better, a cast iron pan if you have one. It helps get that beautiful crispy crust. Add 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil and 1 tablespoon of butter to the pan. Place it over medium-high heat and let the butter melt and the oil get hot. You want the oil and butter to be sizzling and ready when you add the potatoes, so don't rush this step. Let it get nice and hot, and while the pan heats up, we're almost ready to start cooking. Alright, our pan is hot and ready. Now carefully add the seasoned grated potatoes to the skillet. Spread them out evenly, pressing them down gently to form a flat, even layer. Don't stir them or move them around just yet. You want them to form a crispy crust on the bottom. Let them cook undisturbed for about 5 to 7 minutes. Don't be tempted to flip them too soon, as they need time to get golden and crispy. You can check the edges after a few minutes to make sure they're browning evenly, but let's be patient. We're getting closer to crispy perfection. Now it's time for the fun part, flipping the hash browns. Once the bottom is golden and crispy, use a large spatula to lift the edges and carefully flip them. You can do this in sections or, if you prefer, slide them onto a plate and then flip them back into the pan. Be careful not to break them up. Add a little more butter or oil if needed before flipping to ensure they stay crispy. Now cook them on the other side for another 5 to 7 minutes until they're equally golden and crisp. Keep an eye on them and we'll be ready to serve soon. Once both sides are beautifully golden and crispy, remove your hash browns from the pan and place them on a plate lined with paper towels. This will help absorb any extra oil. At this point, they're perfectly crispy, but if you like, you can garnish them with some fresh chives for a little extra color and flavor. Serve them immediately while they're hot and crispy. These hash browns make a perfect side dish for your breakfast or brunch. Enjoy them with eggs, bacon, or whatever you like on the side. Lastly, here are some key tips to make your hash browns perfect. First, choose russet potatoes. They're starchy and will give you that crispy texture you're after. Next, drying the potatoes is crucial. The drier they are, the crispier your hash browns will be. After soaking, use a towel to really squeeze out all that moisture. Also, don't overcrowd the pan. Cook the hash browns in batches if needed, so they can crisp up nicely. Patience is key. Let them cook undisturbed for several minutes before flipping, so you get that golden crust. Finally, if the hash browns are browning too quickly, lower the heat slightly. These tips will ensure you get perfectly crispy hash browns every time. Enjoy your homemade hash browns.